graduated last year. I started practicing since January. My law firm deals with criminal, civil, and family law. So just to start, like most of the meetings that I've been here, like attorneys are very experienced. You all are, you know what you're doing. So I'm just a new attorney. I think Araby will be more, like it would be more, you can connect to what I'm going to say more than others. So anyways, even if you guys have any friends or anybody you know who's going to law school, there's some tips that I want to say that might help. So to start off, basic things, when we're in law school, we're so overwhelmed and consumed by like the studies, which is absolutely the most important thing. However, when you get out to get a job, it's pretty like, yeah, some of the employers will ask you, what is your GPA or whatever, what you did, but mostly they're going to see if you have done any work. If you know what it's like to be an attorney, do you know the court system? Do you know what it is? That is more important. So my recommendation is that all law students should do internships. Get into law firms, get connections. This is a community as well. Ask each other where we can go, get some reference, get your foot in and start working on whatever you can. Because trust me, we're going to utilize very little of what we learn in law school. You're going to start learning when we actually become attorneys, because that's where the real job is. Maybe you're going to be like, oh, this is a negligence case. Oh, I remember duty and breach and causation, but that's bare minimum. Okay. So another recommendation is that build up on a portfolio. There has to be a portfolio where, when you join a firm or, even if you're working in the court, in the clerk's office or wherever, write down all the motions that you're working on. Do research work, write it down, record them, because you're going to forget when you actually go for an interview. Oh, I did some work. You would never have it. So build up your portfolio, have those documents sorted out, just write it down what you did and where you worked, the date, the case, the type, anything that would give you a reference of what you did. So you got to build up a portfolio. You got to connect with attorneys. That's what I did. That's how I build up my stuff. I started throughout law school. I worked at the public defender's office in municipal court. I loved it. But I did my work as a clerk, but I did motions. I did research. I went to attorneys, be like, give me some work. Let me shadow you. Just talk to me. What you do this case, or how, what happens when a guy comes with an OVI till what happens till the end? What are the procedures and stuff like that? Build that report with other attorneys. Write it down, because you need recommendation letters when you get a job, just to show that you're a legit person, that you know what you're doing, that you work somewhere, that people knew you. It's a community. Lawyers, courts, judges, it's a community, and you really want to be a part of it. So get a head start while you're in law school. That's very important. That's what I did. I was working in a criminal firm, and then I was like, okay, let me try some civil. Got a job at a civil firm, worked there, wasn't my thing, but at least I knew what it was like. What is the civil world? And then after I graduated, I was still set for the bar last year, throughout COVID. It was a disaster, but it's fine. It went on. I was still skeptical about all the things I've done, all the preparation I took. I still thought that maybe I won't land a job, because it is very competitive. Everybody's looking for a job. And everybody is smart. No lawyers, no student who passes the law school is dumb. Like, they know what to do, how to be. So that's when your portfolio is going to come into play. And I don't want to brag, but I got my jobs, I got my offers based on my portfolio, based on whatever I got and achieved throughout law school. That's what landed me my dream job. I got an offer from the prosecutor's office. I got an offer from the public defender's office, and I got an offer from this firm. And I always wanted to join a small firm. The reason being, like, you join a small firm, you will get clients. People will come to you. You will learn a lot. You will do different things. You'll do different cases. That's how I started. And that's it. That was my journey. It helped me. And I got what I wanted. And now I'm working towards being a good attorney. So now saying that, another thing I wanted to mention was I'm a Bangladeshi person. I was born and raised in Bangladesh. Came here, got into law school, had kids, whatever. Everybody has their own struggle, right? But we're all here. I live in Ohio. It is very white. And I do not work in Columbus, the main city. I work in other counties. And everybody knows I am the only brown person in that courtroom. I see when clients come in, they see my face, there's a shock. Because my name is Geraldine Rozario. They don't expect that, first of all. And then when they walk into my room and they see a brown person, it's not like, it's not something they were expecting. It's fine, because I take it as my strength, that I will prove that I am that good, that I am here among all of you. Like, I'm that good to sit on that table. And new attorneys, we don't know anything. I don't know everything. People ask me questions I do not know the answer to. It's very natural. And I still cannot act like, oh, I don't know. Like, you can never say that. So it's always like, I'll get back to you on that. Let me do some research. And it's fine. We got this. And sometimes I straight up I just sit there and I just look it up, just like a code, or I Google it just to give them like some sense of information that I know better than them, a little bit more than them, but whatever it is. But I take it as my strength, because I will forget all the men and women I see and meet in court because they're all white. Nobody will forget me because I'm the only brown girl. So, I make my face and my identity recognized, and I want them to remember me. Because the more they see me in court, that is very important. The more they know that, oh, we see this attorney everywhere, or we see her name. So that means that she's doing really good. Even though I'm not, I'm just starting. It's just putting yourself out there is so important. And of course, having the confidence, even if you don't have it, you just got to show it, that you know what you're doing. Because lawyers are very intimidating. It's, everybody's smart. Everybody knows everything. So it's not an easy thing. Saying that, I'm going to move to my third phase. And this is a part that I was talking to Raju about, that having this organization, it has to mean something to me. And I think that now that I'm doing a lot of family law, I see a lot of Bangladeshi women. They just don't understand what's going on. Not only Bangladeshi women, there might be men, because when you go through divorce, what I've seen, that they don't trust their attorneys. First thing, nobody trusts their attorneys. They don't like their attorneys. They're paying so much money. That's why they hate it, because divorce cases are expensive. So first thing is like, oh, my attorney, I don't know whether he's on my side, whether they're doing the right thing. Why didn't he say that? Or why didn't she bring this evidence up? You cannot really explain that. You cannot make them understand all the time. And they're shy enough that they don't share it with their family for support, right? So divorce cases, they're like, they don't talk with anybody. They don't talk to the community. So basically they're in this bubble and they don't know enough. They cannot think logically. And honestly, when you go through a divorce or custody, you're just so overwhelmed. You just don't know what's going on. And currently I'm helping two women, one from New York, another from Cleveland, friend, whoever, relatives. I just give them a consultation. So like, what is it? What is going on? Why did they file this? What are they asking? Why is this not important? Why you don't have to explain everything to the judge. They don't want to hear everything. So I was hoping that through this community that, Raju is helping build up, that we can do some sort of consultation. I am okay. Like if you guys have anybody who's going through a divorce or custody or anything, give my number. I will be happy to give them a free advice of what the case is looking like, because that's the least I can do. That's the least I can help my community with anything, with any questions, right? So something like that, that is my expectation from this group, that, we do something. So, and that's all from me. Thank you, everybody. And if you guys have any comments, please do say something. I would appreciate your thoughts. I always start with, something nice. I crack a joke, or I say something funny to make them feel very relaxed. Mm-hmm. And then I straight up, I listen, I have my posture that I'm very serious. And I'm like, so what's going on? Tell me what is happening. I don't even start with myself. I just give them the floor. What's going on? And once they start talking, I just put some comments. I'm like, oh, I know he cannot do this, or yes, he can do that. Or you can, I understand that procedure. Just putting some legal things there that they then recognize, oh, she knows what she's talking about. Oh, yeah. So I let them talk and get there. So basically, when they come in, they're very skeptical, right? And then when they start talking, they feel better because someone is listening to their problems. That's basically it. They come to lawyers, someone needs to listen to their problems. And once they say that, and then when you give some legal advice on what's going on, it sheds some light to it. And I always give them up straight. If they did, for example, you get a DUI, I'll be like, you know what? Did you drink? You know you drank. You knew that you missed it. So you got to understand where you are. So I put it on them to decide where they're standing. I never changed my career. Throughout law school, I worked at the public defender's office as a law clerk. After that, I did wanted to join a criminal, I thought I would do exclusively criminal. But then when I got the job offer here, it was a general litigation. They do criminal, a lot of it, but family and civil was there. And I thought that if I do that, it would expand my thing, because I don't know if I can like a criminal lawyer. It was a dream to be a criminal lawyer. I don't know what it was like to be actually a lawyer. So I just could not, box myself up. I needed to know that whether I'd like other stuff as well, or maybe I would not like to do rape cases or murder cases, right? Because doing only misdemeanor case won't pay my student loan. So I had to expand, and it worked out. Basically, criminal law has codes, right? So it's very specific. Family law, there are laws and regulations, but it's not like an absolute law. Everything is like a leeway, because it's for example, divorce. The procedure is same. You go for divorce. First few times you have a status hearing. Judge just wants to know what's going on. The lawyers, they talk with each other to come up with an agreement. I know what are the clauses in the agreement. It has nothing to do with law. It's basic common sense. Spousal support, child support, who gets to have the kid on the weekends, where are they going, who gets vacation time, who is paying for the transportation. This is so basic that that what the arguments are going to be like, who gets the house, who gets the car, so those are family law. So then you're not really dealing with codes. You're just dealing with an overall agreement. And that's what the judge is going to sign off at the end of the day, in custody, in things, and divorce or dissolution, whatever. Once you start doing it, it's actually pretty repetitive. In between, there are you have some motions here and there when people don't listen, contempt, we see contempt all the time. And then when you bring in past history of abuse, so it gets more into detail, but an overall picture, it's the same. And clients, they just don't know what's going on. Why are they in my trial? Why didn't the judge want to listen to me anymore? Well, you didn't really have anything to say. So you got to explain them, why didn't the judge listen to you? Because their attorney is going to be there's nothing to say. And attorneys get frustrated because it's very difficult to deal with parents. They don't want to listen to attorneys. They don't trust them. That's a fact, because at the end of the day, they're paying you They're putting your trust, their life, their children, everything on you. So it is very difficult for someone to trust another person entirely.